few years ago, I started fasting. I have been trying different regimes, and the result of it, gradually I lost few kilos. But it was not the initial goal. I got hooked on fasting because of the healthy benefit it offers. Recently, I started wondering, well, I have been fasting for already a few years. But is there any negative effect of fasting? Is it healthy, really? And as I was wondering, I decided to read a book about fasting. I decided to read some articles, listen to some podcasts, and let's find out in this video if fasting has a negative impact. Before we jump into the negative effect of fasting, if any, I would like to start with my favorite part personally, and that's the positive impact which fasting has on humans. And first, positive impact, which I already mentioned, and I personally experience, and it's also the most visible, and it is that fasting will help you to lose weight or maintain it. I think this also can be the reason why many people will sign up for fasting or will decide to try it out, because I think it's a very useful tool and also very accessible. Let's go to the second benefit, and it may improve your cognitive abilities. Some people report that it help them to improve memory, focus. The third benefit is it will lower your insulin level. The fourth benefit is it will lower the risk of heart disease. The fifth benefit is it will reduce inflammation. The next benefit is quite questionable, and it's said that it promotes longevity. The thing is that you can find contradictory information about this. What I found, they have not been done any scientific research on humans. Such a research was done on animals, on mice, and some papers claim, yeah, it does promote longevity, and some papers actually say, no, it doesn't have such an effect. So, it's like, I just mentioning, however, there's no clear evidence that it has such an effect. The next benefit is very interesting because fasting triggers regenerative processes. There is a process which is called autophagy, and basically what it does, this process helps you to repair the damaged and old cells in your body. Just to make it clear, the autophagy process is happening in your body regardless if you're fasting or not. But what it does, this process during fasting is increased. And last, and my favorite one, it's for free. It's like you don't have to pay anyone, you don't have to buy any special ingredients. It's for free, and therefore it's so accessible for everyone. Now let's talk about the promised part of this video, which is, does fasting has potentially some negative impact on humans? Let's see. So the first negative effect of fasting, and it's like, this is really not really like negative effect, it's more like consideration or being aware that fasting is not for everyone, and people who should not fast is breastfeeding or pregnant women, underfed individuals, kids under 18, if you have diabetes type 1, I'm not saying type 2, that's very different, so diabetes type 1, or if you are on some special medication, then definitely you should first consult such a thing with your healthcare provider. So the second negative effect of fasting, some individuals will experience negative physical symptoms like headaches or bad breath, for example. So the third negative effect, and again, this is not really like something negative, but more like consideration, something to be aware of. And the point is like you should eat well after fasting. You should not take fasting as an excuse to eat whatever you want during the time you eat, but take it more like invitation. The moment I start to eat, put something healthy, delicious into my body. The next negative effect of fasting, which is very obvious, and it's also probably what most people will struggle with, including me, and it is feeling of hunger. Feeling of hunger is not comfortable feeling at all. However, I think what's important to realize is that it's just like a wave which comes and goes. You don't feel, or in my case, I don't feel hungry all the time. When it happens, I just want to entertain myself, do something else, maybe makes myself a tea and just keep going. Alright, so we have our last negative effect of fasting, which is, for me personally, the most concerning. And it is the fact that you may potentially lose your muscle mass during fasting. As I was looking into it, I got like a mixed information. However, the key message what I got as I was looking into it, that it does matter what you eat after fasting. So your food should be rich in protein. Also, it's important that you include exercise into your daily activities. Personally, I like to exercise sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes during fasting, but it might not fit to everyone. So if it doesn't fit you, just make sure that you exercise once you start eating again. There is actually a Guinness World Record in fasting, and it was set by a Scottish man who fasted for more than a year. This guy, he was severely obese. He lost more than 200 kilos. Fair to say, the whole time he was going under medical supervision. And it's not an example we should follow, but it's just like showing some extreme case of fasting. But if you have been watching until now, maybe you start wondering, okay, I want to start fasting, but which regimes I should follow, like how I can start. And the thing is that it's very simple in a way that you just need to think, okay, what suits me? So in my case, I was a bit experimenting with it. First, I started to fast for a whole day. So for example, I had dinner on Sunday. Monday, I would not eat at all. I would just drink water with lemon. And I would start to eat again on Tuesday morning. Looking back, it was quite challenging because it's like a whole day you're not eating anything. But, it's like I was able to do it for some time. But right now, what I'm doing is that I just skip dinner. First, it's very practical. You don't have to cook after work, and it just suits me better. It looks like, okay, on Monday, for example, I don't have dinner, so my last meal is lunch around 1 o'clock. And then I have next meal on Tuesday morning. It's around 8, 9 a.m. And I do this like 3 times per week. I'm not doing every day. Of course, you can look up on the internet and see like different regimes of fasting, like 24 hours, 36, 18, and anything in between. Also, there are also very long fasting periods. But I would just think about, okay, what suits me? Is it easier for me to skip breakfast, or is it easier to skip dinner or lunch and dinner? Can I do it 2 or 3 times per week, or every day, or every second day? So it's just something personal, and I would just think, okay, what suits me, what suits also my calendar. Okay, so let's say now we are fasting. You might be wondering, okay, what I can get during fasting, and the thing is, it's very simple because you don't eat, you don't get any food. So in my case, I drink water with lemon, just I get slices of lemon. The thing is that the water has some flavor, so it feels like better, and it still doesn't break your fast. Another thing which I like to make for myself, and it is tea. Especially when I feel hungry, I like to make myself tea, which helps me a little bit to release this feeling of hunger. And sometimes also get a black coffee, no sugar, no milk, just simply black coffee. And all these 3 things doesn't break your fast, so you can have it easily. All right, so you have been fasting, you manage it, and now you might be wondering, okay, what will be the first food I will eat? The only advice I found here is avoid something sugary. For example, if you like orange juice, that's not a good option. Get some food which is high in fat, in protein, something nutritious, healthy. For example, when I finally start to eat again, I like to get a really nice breakfast. I like to have avocado, eggs, bread, some cheese, and it's perfect. Okay, so let's talk about some tips and tricks which you can use during fasting, which will help you to go through that period easier. And I already mentioned that drinking tea can help you to reduce feeling of hunger, especially green tea. Another tip is to really stay hydrated. Make sure that you drink enough water. Another tip is, I've never tried it, but in case you suffer from headaches during fasting, you can put a little bit of salt into your glass of water. It can help you with the headache. Another tip is make sure that you eat nutritious, healthy food after fasting, especially food high in fat, fiber, protein. So it can be avocado, olive oil, cheese, eggs. If you like meat, then meat. If you don't like meat, you can maybe choose tofu. So in this way, you make sure that your body has enough nutrition which it needs. Last tip, which maybe is a bit negative, but in case it happens that during the fasting you feel like lightheaded, you don't really feel well, something is like not right, that's the sign you should definitely stop fasting and get some food. As I have been fasting for already a few years and I've been interested in this topic, I think that fasting is something natural. I don't think we evolve in a way that we have fridge full of food 24/7. We have restaurants on every corner. So I think it's important to find balance between eating and not eating. And for me, fasting personally is the way or the option how to find this balance. I think fasting got quite popular in the recent years. You can see lots of talks or articles about it. Sometimes some of them are quite contradictory, but in the end, I think really what matters is to know or to see what works for you and to just stick with that. So if you have some personal experience with fasting, either you would like to start or you have also some negative experience with fasting, you can share it in the comments. I would love to read it and also learn more about it. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, it will mean a lot to me. And I will see you at the next video.